Consider supporting Dan the Fireman on Patreon for just $1 a month. More information and link below.
All right. Got my caffeine. We're going to talk about something very important. This is Dan the Fireman, if you haven't noticed. And we're going to be talking about 5 mistakes experienced riders make. Let's close this up. All right. Now, all 5 of these turn into basically one giant mistake, and that one giant mistake is called complacency. Complacency is basically when you've done something so many times that you just think to yourself, it's just not going to happen now. So you start taking shortcuts here and there, shortcuts here and there, shortcuts here and there, until to the point where now when something does happen, the fact that you aren't prepared, the fact that you aren't trained well enough, the fact that you haven't been practicing and you've been taking those shortcuts, that is what's going to kill you. It's not the fact that the thing happened, not the fact that the accident happened, it's the fact that you took those shortcuts that killed you. So complacency is really the #1 thing that kills experienced riders. Complacency can't happen with a new beginner rider because new beginner riders are still practicing, still doing their thing, still doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, hopefully. And they haven't gotten to the point where they're like, I've done this so many times and now I'm going to take shortcuts. #1, the improper use of vision. I've been going through some intersections and I went through a parking lot. Now, there's some major things with vision is that a lot of riders, complacent riders, experienced riders, just like, I've gone through an intersection thousands of times. No one's going to hit me. Nothing's going to happen. So their improper use of vision would be just to keep looking straight and going through the intersection. I don't know if you guys can see it. I haven't been doing the head checks because I'm trying to keep this camera nice and still. But I'm also, when I'm coming up to an intersection, I noticed this red car pulled out in front of me, and we got some really heavy traffic back and forth. So I'm actually looking left to right, and I still do the whole, before you cross the road, look left and right. Even when walking, when driving, when riding. So before I even hit go on this, before the green light is actually there, I'm going to look left and right. And then when the green light is going and when it actually starts, I look left and right before I even go into the intersection, because you never know if there's going to be somebody that's going to be red light running, if there's going to be somebody trying to really beat the light. I mean, if they have a yellow, they have a yellow, and I shouldn't be going anyways. But I mean, like, there's some people that will just, they'll cut it way too late, and it's like red way before they get to the intersection. But I always double check. So right now it's red, and so the intersections are very dangerous and deadly for motorcyclists because of just no one sees you. There's just so much going on. There's like 3 lanes of traffic going each way. There's 2 left turn lanes. There's all this stuff going on. So people aren't going to see you as it is as a motorcyclist, and no one's going to see you at the intersection. It's hard enough to see a car. So here we go. So green light, I am actually looking left and right. I'm going to let that car go. I don't care if they get hit. Well, I do care if they get hit, but I'd rather them get hit than me because they have a cage and airbags and seatbelts and everything. I don't. So that's what I do with that. So improper use of vision is a very big thing. So don't get complacent. It's not just intersections. It's like right here with people wanting to pull out, pull in, and then also making sure that the cars next to you, you're not in blind spots and stuff. So improper use of your vision and their vision. That kind of leads us into #2 is the failure to predict a danger, which is the situational awareness. When I say the blind spot, it's like I don't want to be in anybody's blind spot. And the failing to protect or predict dangers at the intersections, you know, right here, somebody could turn left in front of me. There could be a tar snake in the road. There could be a massive pothole in the road, and I'm just kind of like riding. I'm like just chilling back, sitting, relaxing, not really being situationally aware, not searching, evaluating, and executing. That big pothole can catch me off guard, tilt my front end a little bit, and I'm gonna just go and fall over. So just kind of always being situationally aware and being complacent as an experienced rider is like you just kind of, I'm just relaxed, you know, I'm just hanging out, not doing nothing. I've been doing this so long, I don't have to worry about that. You still have to worry about that. It is something very serious that you do not want to mess around with. Check your mirrors, do head checks. Head checks are amazing. I love head checks just because your mirrors can't catch everything. And then slowing down if you have to, just to get behind somebody. I know that we're motorcyclists, so like right now there's this wide gap opening right here. I could totally do that. But the danger is that this guy could also try to go and get in front of me and And it's just do the speed limit. Find out where all your dangerous situations are. Always have an escape route, and then search, evaluate, execute. I did a nice video on that, and it talks more in depth on that type of thing. It's a situational awareness. So jump into that and let me know what you guys think. Another thing experienced riders do is they overestimate their riding abilities. A lot of beginners, they do this too. They also overestimate their riding abilities, and they go too much, and they definitely don't have the experience. But that is just basic beginner ego type thing. When you've been riding for a while, you're like, I know how to do this. I've been riding for a while. I got 30,000 miles under my belt. I can take these corners, or I can ride these distances, or I can do these things. But you have to realize a lot of those miles probably were spent doing what I'm doing right now, commuting. Just riding in a straight line, stop and go traffic, kind of looking out for cars. See, right now I'd like to go into the right lane, but there's a bunch of cars, so I'm not going to do that. Situational awareness. So when you are riding and you're overestimating your abilities, it's like, I got 30,000 miles on this, and then your buddy wants to go up the mountain up here. You're like, oh yeah, I could totally do that. I'm experienced. I've been riding forever. Well, you're not experienced canyon carving. You're not experienced in doing those things specifically. You're experienced doing this. So don't overestimate your abilities by saying, I could go that long 1,000-mile ride, when all you've ever done is a 10-mile commute to and from work every day and built up those 30,000 miles. When there's somebody out there that's built up 30,000 miles going, you know, the 1,000, 5,000 mile trips, you know, like long distance stuff, you know, dual sporting across, you know, the United States into Mexico and all that stuff. Just because you have a ton of miles doesn't mean you have a ton of the right miles. So don't overestimate your actual riding ability when it comes to that. And a lot of experienced riders do that just because they feel like, I've rode 30,000 miles. It's not a big deal. I rode 50,000. I rode 100,000. It's easy. It's not. It's a different level of training. So always remember that you're always learning as an experienced rider. Always learning as somebody that's been riding for a while. Never give up trying to learn. Another thing that we do as experienced riders, and I shouldn't say we. I'm still, I think, a novice. I've been riding for 7 years now. So experience, I think, to me is like, maybe I am experienced. I don't know. Who knows? What is an experienced rider, really? Just somebody with a lot of miles? I don't know. So anyways, another thing that we tend not to do is that we underestimate the effects of aging. When you started riding when you're 20 years old or whatever, you had perfect eyesight, you know, you had perfect hearing, you had great reflexes, you didn't have an injury, your knees felt great, your back feels great, your elbows, everything feels great. Now you're like older, and your eyesight's going bad, you know, it's starting to go bad, and then the years of riding without earplugs, headphones, anything like that, has caused your hearing to degrade, or maybe your hearing caused it to degrade, or your job caused your hearing to degrade. There we go. And maybe you got a back injury at work, or while riding, you got elbows hurt. All those things, they do affect your riding skill. So like, you cannot effectively see dangers without getting glasses if your eyesight's bad. So you're gonna have to start worrying about getting glasses, and now getting a helmet that you could fit glasses, or maybe contacts. Your hearing might be going bad, so hearing, you know, certain things in traffic, you know, hearing different, you know, commands, like maybe somebody's honking at you because your like rear tire's low, or something's hanging off the back of your bike, and you can't hear anything because you have no hearing. You have bad hearing. Not being able to turn as quickly because your elbows are just so stiff, you know, your back hurts, so you start modifying your riding to where you're only going straight lines, so when it comes to a turn and corner, you can't lean very hard because your back is in pain. So all these things are based off of aging, or if you're young and you just have these injuries, I'm sorry, that sucks, and you're gonna have to adjust to that. But always be aware that as an experienced rider, don't get complacent thinking, you know, I can just continue riding like this, when in actuality, when it comes to an emergency situation, you're not gonna be able to react in a physical way appropriately. So just you might have to change your riding style. You might switch from a sport bike to more of a dual sport bike, or maybe a cruiser bike to where you're more upright, not leaning over if your back is in pain. and all that stuff. So those are things that you might want to be a little bit aware. Now, this is one thing that I see a lot, and it's not just from experienced riders, but it's from new riders, and I think a lot of new riders do this because they just can't afford it, or they just don't think it looks cool. I was one of them. But here's the thing, some older riders, some experienced riders accept more risk through less riding gear, and I think that really does stem from complacency. It's like, if you've never been into an accident, it's like, why do I put this gear on? I'm just going down the street. Why am I putting head-to-toe gear on? Why am I wearing this helmet, gloves, pants, jacket, boots, everything, just to go down to the corner, or just to go like a mile to get this, get that, or run an errand? It's like, it takes me a while, it's hot, I don't want to do it. Boom, complacency kicks in. I haven't gotten in an accident, I'm not going to wear this, I'm not going to wear that, and then it slowly turns into, I'm not going to wear a jacket, I'm not gonna wear the jeans, I have clothes on, I'm not gonna wear the boots, I already got shoes on, I'll wear a helmet maybe. You know, that's how it turns into. And then when you do crash, you wish you had that helmet, you wish you had all that gear, and that's what happens. It's the complacency of that issue, is that you start taking more risks because you're not wearing the appropriate gear. Now, the way I like to bring it to you guys when it comes to this issue is that as a firefighter, I can't just be like, well, I fought over 100-something fires, I'm not gonna, put on my helmet, I'm not gonna put on my coat, I'm not gonna put on my hood, and I'm not gonna put on my SCBA mask and stuff because, I've done these fires hundreds of times. No, every single time I go into a fire, it's like, you have to have that stuff or you're going to die. And you have to start thinking to yourself like that, because you're on a motorcycle. It's like, you need to have all this gear, because if you do crash, you are going to die. I need to have my helmet just in case something falls on my head. I need to have my air pack 100% just in case I need that extra 5 minutes of air to get out of that fire. I need to make sure my boots are in good condition, because I don't want to get a nail going through the bottom of my foot. And I also don't want boiling hot water coming inside my shoe or my boot. Make sure I have, no tears in my fabric so no smoke and heat can get through. It's the same thing with your gear, your riding gear. You start taking more risk because you're like, I don't feel like I should do it because I've never got injured. I haven't gotten injured, thankfully, thank God, in over 10 years of firefighting in a fire. I haven't gotten injured, but it could happen, and you need to have the appropriate gear, you need to have the appropriate training. And being complacent will kill you in the fire service, and being complacent on a motorcycle will kill you on a motorcycle. So you need to wear your gear. So don't just be like, I'm not going to wear it this time. No, once you start doing that, you'll do the slippery slope of, I'm not going to wear any gear because nothing's ever happened to me, in that type of situation. So don't do that. Do not do that. But guys, I hope I helped out with some of you. I hope I reminded some of you to start doing some of these things and being more aware. I like doing these little tip videos. And I also like talking to you guys on my Discord channel. It's a link in the description. There's a bunch of us in there, and we all just chit chat. We talk about motorcycle stuff. We talk about our day, just kind of hang out, do whatever. Or you can lurk and just kind of read. But I like to post a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Ooh, there's a pothole right there. I like to post a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I comment in there every day. I check it and I answer questions, and I just like to talk to you guys. But guys, go ahead and check that out. And if you did like this, please click that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. I love seeing how many subscribers I have, and I love to communicate with you guys and help you out. Hopefully I can do that. It's all I'm here for. I'm hoping to just help and make everybody safer. That is the only thing I'm here for. With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I will see you guys soon, very soon.